Hey, what's going on everybody? Welcome back to another Screw Toy action figure review. And before we get started, if you could hit that like and subscribe button, follow me on my Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. The links to all those are in the description down below. The only way to grow this channel is by liking and subscribing. And if you like these videos, share them with your friends and family. Again, I am trying to grow this channel, and the only way by doing that is you guys viewing and supporting. And I do really appreciate everybody that watches and supports. You know, it means a lot. But enough of me begging for you guys watch my videos. Let's get a quick look here at the Hasbro's Marvel Legends 85-year anniversary line. You know, Marvel Legends does this anniversary deluxe type of releases every summer, and they're starting to hit all at once, unfortunately, so my wallet is taking a big punch. I do have about half of the figures here from this anniversary line. The only major ones I'm missing is that Hulkbuster, Scar, the Cabal 3-pack, and a few others like the Venom exclusive that is to Walmart. Now, I did review the Miss Marvel or Warbird Target exclusive figure about a week or two on my channel, and if you want to see that, you can go and look at that video now. But yeah, great figure. I did want to include her in the rest of these sets. But the rest of them I got at my local GameStop, which was the Ghost Rider and Luke Cage 2-pack. And then the Superior Spider-Man and Wolverine I found at my local Target. So these were slated to release on the 21st. I think Miss Marvel was the only one that was street dated, but these two were just set to release on the 21st. So do check your Targets. They should be on the shelves. And I just so happened to walk into my GameStop that's right next to my Target, and they had these two on the shelves as well. So very exciting times, man. Very exciting times. A lot of figures coming out. A lot of figures being announced because of SDCC. It's right around the corner, just a couple days away. A lot going on with a lot of these figures and major, toy companies. It's an exciting time to be a action figure fan. So enough of me rambling on. Let's get a quick look at these packagings. They're pretty much the new standard for the Marvel Legends packaging. We'll get a look at Superior Spider-Man. It is a big window with the name of the character right there on the side. Marvel Legends logo, the Marvel Celebration logo down there. On the back, you get a very nice image of Superior Spider-Man right there. On the side, another picture of that same image from the back, just kind of cropped out. And then the same thing goes for the rest of them. You get Luke Cage and Iron Fist. Same thing on the back. On the side, you get a window. And then same thing on the front. On top, you get that Anniversary Line logo. Same thing with Ghost Rider on the side, as well as Wolverine. So yeah, really like this packaging, man. I always thought the old Marvel Legends packaging was just boring, and this is, reamping that packaging just to make it a little bit more nice. Again, we've seen Warbird, just wanted to include that packaging in there. I think we'll start off with my least exciting figure of this wave, which is this Wolverine. Now getting a quick look at all the accessories that this figure does come with. He does come with a set of fists. He also does come with a set of hands that we typically don't see with Wolverine. He comes with one pointer finger hand and one open display hand. And what I love about these hands is that they're unique to Wolverine. So we won't see them with any other character but Wolverine. As you can see, we get those little metal claw things right there on the gloves that are unique to Wolverine. And yeah, man, I just love that we get different accessories with this figure. I'm tired of just seeing, fist and clawed hands. And it's just a nice change of pace with these hands, just giving him a little bit more uniqueness and more character on the shelf. Then you obviously can't have Wolverine without his claws, and I love the claws, man. When I started collecting back in 2017, which was about 7 years ago, the claws used to be real thin, fragile, they were all warped out of the packaging. These came out straight and perfect out of the packaging, man. It's just been a great improvement. I believe we first started seeing improvements on the claws with the Fox Anniversary line that the Marvel Legends team did a couple years back. And yeah, man, love them. Can't complain about them. The only thing I will say is I wish they would start painting them in a metallic silver instead of that flat gray plastic that they mold them in. Now we get two different head sculpts with this Wolverine. We get an unmasked Wolverine head sculpt, and it's a nice looking Logan head sculpt, man. It's nothing crazy. It is pretty accurate to the source material, the Astonishing Comics. And yeah, I like it. Nothing to really complain about. Wolverine's not a good looking dude, and is kind of an ugly mug, so I think it's fitting. I love that the face printing technology does keep getting better and better. I know I say that quite often on a lot of my reviews, but just seeing them up close, even here on my viewfinder, I can see that a lot of that pixelation is not there, or if it is, it's very, very subtle. Like even on the stubble on the chin, you can see that it's very, very subtle. It's not like really, really big pixels, you know, when they do the printing technology. Again, very subtle, and I love that they keep improving on it more and more. Now, my favorite of the two head sculpt is the mask head sculpt. I love the gritty teeth. I just think that this is perfect. If they were to give one of the head sculpts gritting teeth, it would be the mask version, because, you know, this is what he would wear to battle and to fight enemies and kick Magneto in his stupid ass face. But yeah, man, I love the head sculpt. I love that the wings aren't huge and exaggerated. They're very accurate to the source material. And yeah, man, no major complaints. Yeah, I think it's pretty solid. Love the streamline that runs down the head. Again, very accurate to the source material. And here we have the astonishing Wolverine. And just straight up, man, I love this figure. He's pretty fucking dope. I think the improvements on this Wolverine buck are major. Now, we can get a classic Wolverine in his, you know, tiger stripe costume in this exact same format. I think it would be perfection. It would rival the Mafex version. Like, it would be neck to neck if they do a Wolverine in this style, in this body. Not this exact body mode, because it's unique to this, you know, costume, but just a classic style tiger stripe Wolverine with this articulation setup and this much love put into it. It would rival the Mafex almost neck to neck. Now, imagine a brown suit Wolverine in this setup. It would, again, there would be no reason for you to go and buy a $200 Mafex figure. This is a really, really dope Wolverine. I think it is the best Marvel Legends Wolverine figure out there on the market. And yeah, man, for 25 bucks, I think you're getting a lot of bang for your buck. Starting off with the head sculpt, we've already kind of looked at that. It's pretty accurate to the source material. Nothing too crazy, man. Love that they added seam lines to the head sculpt. Again, that's very accurate to the astonishing comics, that they have a lot of seam lines running down their costumes. As you can see, that seam line runs all the way down its neck, down its torso, down to its crotch, and on its thighs. I love that the shoulder pads aren't big and flared like they usually are. They're very subtle. That's something about this costume, that it's very subtle. Like, the wings are very subtle. The shoulder pads are very subtle. They remind me a lot of the first appearance Wolverine. The tiger stripes are actually sculpted on there and painted. Now, the paint isn't as nice as I would like it to be. It's a little sloppy. As you can see, some of that blue kind of seeping through. On the back, you get stretch marks on the costume right there, so it's not just flat. The tiger stripes on the side, sculpted as well. Again, maybe not painted as clean as I would like it to, but still pretty decent. You get this very nice belt. I don't know if we've had this belt before, but it looks nice. I love the little silver canisters that they painted them in. It's not just a flat black plastic. Moving down to the legs. The paint on the legs seems to be pretty dope. On the boots, it looks nice. Maybe a little bit of sloppiness and fussiness around the borders, but pretty decent. It's not too bad. Yeah, man, pretty solid figure. The claws, again, I love that they use these claws and not the old flimsy ones. I love that he has hairy arms. As we know, Wolverine is a hairy dude. He's from Canada. He needs to stay warm with all that hair. And it's also sculpted, but it's very, very subtle. Get it to focus. There we go. Yeah, man, I like that quite a bit. But yeah, the thing that I love most about this figure is the articulation setup. I've said it plenty of times. I wish they would do all the Wolverines like this. Getting a look at his articulation. His head is on a dumbbell joint, so he can look up. Not much. I think they really do need to improve on that dumbbell joint. A lot of the figures can't really look up if they have that joint set up. He can look down quite a bit, but he's a short dude. He don't really need to be looking down on anybody. But he has great head pivoting. That's a good thing about dumbbell joints. You get some pretty good head pivoting. So that is nice. You get butterfly joints. They go all the way back. So, you know, you can have that swing attack type of pose like that. And then he gets all the way forward, so he can kind of cross the body, I believe. Those shoulder pads kind of get in the way a bit. He can kind of cross the body, but not much. He does have upper bicep swivel, double pinless elbows that bend in. a little bit past 90, even though he does have a huge ass bicep. So I love the chunkiness of those arms too. You do get a little bit of bleeding from that blue on the side of the costume onto the bicep, and I have seen a couple people have that issue, so just be wary of that. Pretty sure an alcohol wipe will clean that up. Shouldn't have to do that, but unfortunately that's the case with this one. I did forget to mention that the glove is sculpted as well. I think it is just a rubber overlay that goes over the arm, but I like that it's not just a flat painted paint right there in blue. You do get swivel and hinge at the wrist. Be careful with those claws. You still can move them out of position, as you can see. He does have a diaphragm cut, which is my favorite part of this figure, is that diaphragm cut. So he can pivot to the sides a decent amount. He can crunch forward a teeny bit and a lot further back. But he has a lower ab crunch, so with those two, he can go all the way back and all the way forward. And he can turn a full 360 from that diaphragm cut if you like. Does he have drop down hips? He does not have drop down hips. I don't know why Marvel Legends seems decides to only add the drop down hips whenever they want to. I think it should be a standard in all their figures, but hey, it is what it is. So no drop down hips, but he can kick this much forward, which is a decent amount. Not much back. Kick out to the side, a pretty decent amount. He can almost do the splits. He does have a upper thigh cut, which I completely hate. You guys know that I hate upper thigh cuts because it just doesn't look natural. It doesn't look right. I wish they would shift from the inside of from the hips. That's the only thing that I think that the McFarlane team company does better than Marvel Legends and Hasbro, is that they do the shifting in the inside of the thigh, and they don't break up that thigh with that thigh cut right there. So yeah, wish they would move forward with those. You know, import companies are doing it, even domestic companies are doing it. I think Marvel Legends needs to start getting on that train. So I wish they would get rid of thigh swivels, and I wish they would get rid of waist cuts. So yeah, something I'm not happy about. I think this is my least favorite part of the articulation. He does come with double pinless knees that are pretty great. They've been more past 90, and he can kick his own ass if you force it, but just be careful. Don't break your figure. These figures are not cheap. He does have a hinge at the foot that hinges that much forward, that much back, and he does have ankle pivot and pegos at the bottom of the feet. I've heard complaints about people saying that they wish that hinge would have been black, so the continuation of that black on the boot wouldn't be broken up, and I agree. That would have been a smart move to do. I think they did it with the Tiger Stripe Wolverine from the X-Men 97 retro card. Yeah, they should have done that here. But overall, solid figure. Next up, we'll get a look at Iron Fist and Luke Cage. And now getting a quick look at my least anticipated figure from the 2-pack. Not saying that it's a bad figure, but I do have the newer version of Luke Cage, his classic costume. So I wasn't too excited to get another Luke Cage in such a short period of time. But he's still a very solid figure. But getting a quick look at his accessories, he does come with a set of fists with knuckle dusters on him with his name, Luke Cage. Very similar to how we saw with Hammerhead. He has a fist with the Hammerhead, I think he just said head actually. It said head on the fist, on the knuckle dusters. And I love when Marvel Legends throws unique accessories like this, man. It just really, really makes the figure unique, and, you know, a break from that copy and paste that we see with the reused parts with Marvel Legends. We also do get a bear claw type of hand for the right arm and a left gripping hand for the left arm. Unfortunately, this is all the hands we get. I wish we would have got a pair of each, but nope, this is all we get. And then we don't even get anything for him to hold on that left gripping hand. So not sure what's it even for, but I guess it's good for adding some accessories that you already have in your collection. Now we do get two different head sculpts for Luke Cage. The first one being a very neutral and stoic head sculpt. He does look pissed off. He does look like he's going to kick your ass. But it's very just neutral. Very, not calm, but just neutral. The second head sculpt that we do get is a very angry and yelling Luke Cage. And it almost kind of looks like Blade, if I'm being honest. He's just missing those sunglasses and the fangs. But I really do like this head sculpt quite a bit. At first, I thought that I just liked the neutral head sculpt, but this one is just really unique, man. We don't really see too many head sculpts like this for Marvel Legends, and that's why I really like this 2-pack, because it's a lot of uniqueness in this 2-pack. Now, it's not like completely out of there crazy, but we see a lot of cool stuff that we usually don't see, whether they're Marvel Legends figures. You know, we usually just get copy and paste, and nah, man, we get some really cool things in this 2-pack, and this head sculpt is one of them. And now getting a quick look at Luke Cage. Not a lot of craziness to him, but there is a lot of new. So I thought this was going to be a lot of reuse of the, SDCC Luke Cage, the multi-pack Luke Cage. I thought it was actually going to be some reuse from Hydro Man and Sandman and a lot of those figures. But no, we get a lot of new things. The legs are pinless, so that is a giveaway that these are new legs, some new jeans. I really love the denim look to these jeans. And then we get butterfly joints on the upper torso. Now, one thing, and I'm pretty sure you guys know if you guys see my channel quite a bit, my biggest complaint about this figure is the lack of a diaphragm cut and a lower ab crunch. Could have easily be implemented here, especially since it's a new torso. Don't know why they didn't go that route. They just need to get away from ab crunches and waist swivels, man. That is outdated articulation in my opinion. It's good articulation. It does what it needs to, but it looks ugly, man. I hate that square look right there. I've always hated it, and I love the diaphragm cut. It's just, man, this is outdated. But looking at Luke Cage himself, I mean, he's a pretty good looking figure, man. Yeah, this is the Luke Cage that I know, that I grew up knowing. I do have the classic Luke Cage, and I will compare both of them later on in the review. But this is what I've always, my mind's eye of Luke Cage. Yeah, man, I love the detail throughout the whole figure. I love that the shirt is actually sculpted, not just painted on. As you can see, the collar is actually nicely sculpted there. Has a seam line. The wrinkles on the shirt right here on the shoulders are nice. They're not just painted, straight across. Love the stretch wrinkles throughout the torso. On the back, you can see all that muscle definition. The jeans is my favorite part. I love that denim look to them. You even get the belt loops with the belt running through. Yeah, man. Do get a little bit of a gap on this thigh. I think I just need to heat it up and push it in a little bit more. But yeah, man. I mean, nothing too crazy. I think these shoes are reused from that Sandman and Hydro Man. You do get the cage on that belt buckle painted on there very nicely. If I can get it to focus right there. So yeah, man, pretty dope figure. Just getting a look at his articulation. His head is on a dumbbell joint, so it can look up just about that much, so nothing too crazy. He does look down about that much, so nothing, actually maybe a little bit more. He does get head pivoting, so he pivots to the sides. Again, he does have butterfly joints, so it can move a good amount back and a good amount forward. He does have double pinless elbows. Hands rotate a full 360 and hinge up and down. And then I think the gripping hand has a vertical hinge. He does have an ab crunch. Goes this much forward, that much back. And then he does have a waist swivel, so you can rotate him a full 360 if you like. Get it to focus. No drop down hips, but he does have a upper thigh cut. Double pinless knees that bend in pretty good amount. He can actually kick his own ass. I mean, his own back, actually. It's not even his ass. So that is nice. You do get a boot swivel right there. So that is nice. And then you get a hinge at the foot that hinges that much forward, that much back. And then he does have great ankle pivot with pegals at the bottom of the feet. You can kick this much forward. I can get it to focus. Focus, man. Focus. And then you can kick a pretty decent amount back. And this much to the side. So, great articulation from Luke Cage. Now, getting a quick look at Iron Fist and all the accessories that he does come with. Straight out the packaging, he does come with a set of fists, a set of these bear clawing hands. And very similar to the bear clawing hands, you get these type of hands, but the middle and the index finger are a little bit spread out. Kind of like the Spock type of hands when you do like this. So, yeah. I'm not sure exactly what these are for. I'm pretty sure it's a kung fu move or some karate type of move. But yeah, I like them. I like that we get some type of uniqueness and variety with all the hands that we do get with Iron Fist. And the last set of hands that he does come with are the karate chopping hands, and I love the variety of hands that we got. We got almost every hands we need with Iron Fist. The only ones that we're missing, I think, are the gripping hands. That would have been nice to have as well, just so you can grip some nunchucks or something, bow staff. But even though the ones that we did get are pretty dope, and I like them. We also do get these flame effects that go over his fist to kind of show his powers, him using the Iron Fist. Now, I do like them. I just wish we would have got translucent hands that are, in a yellow plastic. That would have went way harder than these fire effects. I don't know, man. I think that would have been a better accessory. We did get that accessory with the previous Iron Fist back in like 2015, 2016. I can't remember exactly when that figure was released, but we got those translucent hands, and I feel like that shows his powers a little bit better rather than just having balls of fire over his fists like the Human Torch and other characters that we have in our collection. Like Luke Cage, Danny does come with two different head sculpts. The first one being a very neutral and stoic head sculpt. Again, he does look pissed. He does look like he's ready to kick your ass, but it's very neutral, nothing too crazy going on with his face expression. But the second head sculpt that he does come with is a pissed off Danny. And I like this head sculpt quite a bit. I feel like it's very dynamic. You can have him doing karate chops and flying in the air. And yeah, I love this head sculpt. I think it's my favorite of the two. And I'm probably going to have him displayed with this one. But yeah, man, we get a nice array of accessories for Iron Fist. We get a lot more than we did with Luke Cage. And yeah, man, I think they knocked it out the park with this Iron Fist. And here we have Danny, aka Iron Fist. And I've been waiting for this figure for so long, man. I've been wanting a classic Iron Fist in my collection for the longest. And we finally have a really, really decent one. Good thing we got it when Marvel Legends decided to start doing, their newer bucks and their new articulation setup. And yeah, man, not a lot of things that I dislike about this figure. There is a few things that I'm just not a fan of, but overall, I think he's a very, very solid figure. First off, I love the articulation setup. You guys know I'm a sucker for a diaphragm cut and a lower ab crunch. This does utilize the Renew Your Vow Spider-Man buck, so we get a lot of great articulation with this figure. Not a lot of figures have used this buck. I think it's only been Daredevil and Spider-Man, and now we got Iron Fist on it, which I think is pretty deserved. I think the nice thing about this buck, it fits acrobatic characters very well, like Spider-Man, Daredevil, Iron Fist. Who else would be great on that body? I don't know. Quite a few other characters would benefit using this body because again, it's very, very well articulated. Now getting a look at the head sculpt again. We've seen the head sculpts already. What I do like about this is the bandana is articulated. I thought it was just in a set pose, but no, it does swivel around. But it does feel kind of thin, so be careful when moving that around because I feel like if you move it too much, it will break on you. I love the big collar. It is kind of flexible and it does have some give to it, so it's not stiff. It won't break on you. I love the tattoo on the chest. It is just printed on there, as it should be, because it's not, it's not sculpted or anything. It's not like a scar on his chest. It's a tattoo. And then the rest of the body is painted in a very nice green. The flesh tone, where the costume meets the flesh tone, it's not very blurry or anything. I think it's actually pretty nicely clean transition right there. Nothing too crazy where it's bleeding through. Maybe you could see some green right there in the flesh tone, but nothing too crazy. Now, I do have a little defect on the left arm where right there on the wrist, some of that green paint is seeping through the flesh tone, but nothing too noticeable. I really like how the yellow trim runs all the way down on the articulation. So right where the articulation is actually set up, it runs through that portion, so it makes it look very natural, like it's implemented with the articulation. So that's very nice. I really do like that, because if you move the belt up, you can see that the trim actually goes around the lower ab crunch. If I can get it to not be blurry. There we go. I love the belt. It does move around, but it's very snug, so it's really snug on there. It's not gonna like flap around on you or move around while you're posing this figure. You actually have to shift it up and down. And the rest of the figure is just green legs, some flesh tone after the thigh cut or the lower calf cut, and then he has his little booties right there. So yeah, man, pretty dope figure. Now, I'm not going to go into full detail on the articulation of this figure because we've seen it before. Dumbbell joint, he can look that much up, that much down. Head pivoting, we get a diaphragm cut, this much forward, that much back. With the lower ab crunch, it goes that much back and that much forward. Ball joints at the shoulder, move up that much, can hit a very nice T-pose. Butterfly joint, upper upper bicep swivel, double jointed elbows that are pinless, and then the hands hinge up and down and swivel full 360, and that is with all the hands. You get a diaphragm cut again, ab crunch. Lower legs, you get a drop down hip, so you can kick this much forward and that much back, this much to the side. Again, he has upper thigh cuts, double pinless knees. He has a boot cut right there. And then he does have a hinge at his foot that hinges that much forward, that much back. He has ankle pivot, peggle at the bottom of his foot, and he does have toe articulation. So again, it does utilize that renew your vows body, so you get those toe hinges. Oh man, now we're getting into the stuff that I was really excited about. Next, we'll get a quick look at the Ghost Rider. Now getting a quick look at all the accessories that the Ghost Rider does come with. He does come with a set of gripping hands. He also does come with one open palmed hand for the left hand, and then he also does come with a fist for the right hand. And unfortunately, we do not get the set. We only get one of each. I don't know why they like to do that. They only had one of each. If you're gonna include a fist, include a pair of fists, and if you're gonna open a palm, a bare palmed hand, open palmed hand, include the other one, man. I hate when they do only one of each, man. But yeah, that's all the hands we get with Ghost Rider. Now the last accessory that comes with Ghost Rider, other than his bike, is his whip chain. And as you can see, it's the same whip chain we've seen plenty of times. It's just a gray plastic with a translucent fire flame effect at the end. And yeah, it would have been nice to get something a little bit different than we've seen before. We've seen this plenty of times with all the other Ghost Riders that we've gotten. It's the one in the Rider's Wave, and then the one in the dang, it won't focus. And then the one in the Retro Card Wave. But anyways, can't get it to focus, but you guys get the point. Now getting a quick look at the bike and assembling it. I don't know how exactly it goes, so we're going to figure this out together. I'm guessing this plate goes right here, so we get a square, and then we get a rectangular square peg. And that should just, oh, there you go, just slides right in. We do get the handlebars, and get a peg hole and a peg, so we just should peg in right there. Oh yeah, that pegs in very nicely. And then we get a kickstand, and get a 1 and a 2, so I'm not sure what that's about. We get a 2. I don't know if y'all can see that on the plastic, but there's a 2 on it. I don't think that really means anything, but I think that just, I don't think it really matters which way it goes. But there we go. We get the kickstand, or the bar things for his feet. I'm not sure what they're called. And then we get these flame effects. I think this one just plugs into the back like that, and then this one plugs into the back like, or the front like this, and it gives you a nice little stand for the bike. It can stand on its own, as you can see. Before I assembled it, it was standing on its own, so it can do that, but I guess this gives it just a little bit more support. And then this little piece right here is for this shit. This one goes the other way. You get a little peg hole down there, and then the little peg right here. Bam! So, so it can look like it's kind of doing a wheelie right there. Man, that shit's just dope as fuck, man. I love this little man. See, the Marvel Legends team has been killing it this year, man. I don't care what anybody says. They've been on a roll, they've been on the streak, and they've been absolutely killing it. So I love that it can do this, and yeah, we'll get a look at Ghost Rider here in a second on it. And here we have the Ghost Rider, and he's a pretty solid figure, man. We do get some updates. I think the head is brand new. It does look like the exact same head sculpt from previously, but we get an updated jaw. It doesn't have that weird upper bite anymore. It's kind of a little bit more aligned. Nice wash throughout the skull. You get some browns in there, just to bring out those nice sculpted details. And then inside the eyes, you can kind of see that pendant stare. You get that nice little swirls around there, which I really, really like quite a bit. We get the same flame effect for the top of the head. I wish we would have got something a little bit more different, something kind of just like shooting up instead of windswept. And then we get the same neck piece that kind of has the flames bursting out of his jacket. The torso is brand new. You get some very nice textured leather right there. I don't know how well it's coming off on camera, but you get some nice textured leather right there. Spikes on top of the shoulders. The back, you get that same texture. The chain wrapped around his torso can be taken off by popping off the head and just kind of putting it over and taking it off. The arms are pinless, so you get brand new arms, brand new forearms with the spikes right there. The right arm has these spikes on the back of the hand, and then this side doesn't. And then the lower legs are new as well, as they are pinless. To get pinless legs for the bottom right there. Nice texture on the pants. And then the boots do have that nice leather texture throughout as well. And then you get a very nice spike around the, what is this, the left boot. Just to give some asymmetry, as you can see, spikes there, no spikes there, spikes there, no spikes on the back of the hand. So yeah, pretty solid Ghost Rider, man. Right now I'm going to put him on the bike and show you how that looks. And there we have Ghost Rider on the bike. And he does sit on there pretty well. Not as naturally as I would like him to. The legs are kind of weird and finicky to kind of have rest on those bike pedals. I think that's what you would call them, bike pedals. I'm not sure. But yeah, it's kind of finicky to kind of get him to sit there flush. And if you put both of the feet on the pedals, his ass kind of comes out of the seat. So that's the only issue I really have with this figure, is just that he can't sit flush and perfect on that bike. But overall, he sits on there pretty good, man. I like it. It looks dope. I think it's the best Marvel Legends Ghost Rider we've gotten by far. I was in between this one and the Mezco, but this one's $50 and the Mezco is $250. So obviously, if I want to, I don't want to spend $200 extra to buy a Ghost Rider. So this one had to do. But yeah, I didn't really get a look at the bike. Really, I was just kind of show you how to put it together. So getting a look at the bike. You get some very nice details on this bike. I love the flat matte plastic. It really gives it a high quality feel and look. The only thing is, if your fingers are kind of greasy like mine are, you'll get some thumbprints throughout. But I love the little panel lining. I love the little gas canister cap right there. I love the translucent wheels. I wish we would have gotten an option to have just regular wheels on the bike. But, you know, he's going to be powered up most of the time. Again, the shield does shift up and down. It's a little bit stiff, so without popping it off. It does shift down, and then it shifts up for battering mode. It's kind of stiff, so I'm just going to keep it like that. But yeah, the seat does have some nice leather texture on it. That's right there, or some leather sculpting on it to give it that texture of leather. On the other side, you actually don't see the screws. They actually put caps on it. They didn't do a really good job at kind of implementing it on there without looking too noticeable. But as you can see, you get some covers right there for where the screws are at. Way better than having them exposed, though. So I do appreciate that little thing they did right there by covering up the screws. You get this little panel right there that shows some of the innards. I love the gray plastic they used for the inside metal mechanical parts. It's not a nice shiny silver that I would have liked, but it's pretty decent. It's pretty decent plastic that they molded it in. It does have some marbling, but it's not really noticeable because it's a bike. You know, if it was on a person or an armor, it would have been a little bit more noticeable. The bike, you get the little speedometer right there. Or actually, I'm not sure what that is. I think that's just a... I'm not sure what that logo is. But you get the speedometers right there on the handlebars. Oh, right there on the handlebars. So that is nice. So yeah, pretty dope bike. Putting that to the side. And looking at Ghost Rider's articulation. It is pretty decent, man. Nothing too crazy. Again, it would have benefited from having a diaphragm joint and a lower ab crunch, but he does have a ball joint at the top of his head. I think that's what it is. Yeah, just a ball joint at the top of his head, so he can look up that much and that much down. He does have a jaw articulation, so it can open up right there if he wants to suck your soul out. Oh, That didn't sound right. If he wants to take your soul, he could just open his mouth. That still doesn't sound right. Anyways, he gets head pivoting right there. Nothing too crazy. Arms are on ball joints, and they move up just about at a T, maybe. Oh, no, actually, he can hit a Y post fairly easy. Upper bicep swivel, double pinless elbows to bend in way more than 90. He does have a hinge at his hand that hinges up and down and swivels a full 360, and that is with all hands. I wish one of the gripping hands would have had a vertical hinge so you can kind of get some better whipping action. He does have ab crunch that goes this much forward, that much back, waist swivel. He does have upper thigh cuts. He can kick this much forward and a little bit back, this much to the side. Does he have drop down hips? He does have drop down hips. So yeah, I think you can utilize those to kind of get on the bike a little bit better. So nice to see drop down hips on him. Double pinless knees that can kick his own ass. Pew, pew, pew. Boot cut. Foot hinges this much forward, that much back, ankle pivot, and peg at the bottom of the foot. And for the figure that I was excited for the most, here we have the Superior Spider-Man. Now getting a quick look at all the accessories this figure does come with. Straight out the packaging, he does come with a set of fists, a set of wall crawling hands or clawing hands. As you can see, he does have those spiked fingers. You obviously can't have Spider-Man without whip hands. Now, Superior Spider-Man does come with two different head sculpts. They're both very similar. The only difference is the lenses. And this first one, straight out the packaging, does come with a very unique head sculpt. The lenses here kind of show a reflection of the New York skyline. And I like it, man. It's unique. It's different. It's something that they've never really done before. It's really innovative in a way. I just don't think the execution was done 100% perfect. Now, I think it's still pretty dope, and I do like it. But I would have preferred to have chrome lenses. When I first saw the promo images and when they first announced this figure, I thought that's what it was, chrome lenses. But no, it's just that face printing technology that's kind of just printed on those lenses. And again, it does work, and it's really unique, and it would work in some nice shots and dioramas and stuff. But for me, it's just not something that I prefer or like. I would have preferred to just have those chrome silver lenses. The second head sculpt that we do get is a very just classic looking Spider-Man head sculpt. We get the white lenses, and it's just not a flat white, it's a pearlescent white, and I do like that since it is reflective and shiny. It just gives it a little bit more life to it. I love this costume, man. I love the chaotic webbing throughout the whole costume. It's not just a flat, straight line webbing. It's just a little bit more chaotic than what we usually see with Spider-Man. And yeah, man, I love both of the head sculpts, and yeah, they're both unique and they both do their own thing, but this one is just more to my liking. Now we do get two different backpacks, the first one being a collapsed backpack, and yeah, I love it. It just ports in with three of those pegs that connect to the three peg holes in the back, and yeah, man, I think this one looks pretty dope. Second backpack that we do get is a little bit bigger, has a little bit more girth to it, and it also does have peg holes, and those peg holes are for these dope ass spider legs, man. And this is how you should do spider legs, mechanical spider legs. The Iron Spider they released a couple years back, that shit was ass. I hated the legs. That's what really ruined that figure for me. But this, man, this is how it should be done. This is done correctly. Putting them on is fairly easy. You just peg them into the little peg holes in the back, and they stay on there pretty secure. I will say when you first attach them, these pincers don't really seem to make any sense because they're kind of backwards. All you have to do is just rotate them and put them forward. And the way I did it is just I follow the shape. As you can see, it kind of has an edge, an edge, an edge, and then another edge. So just kind of have them flowing naturally. And you get this very dope ass looking Spider-Man, man. Yeah, I'm really digging this right here, man. But yeah, let's get a closer look at the figure itself. It's pretty simple, man. As I said before, you get those nice pearlescent white eyes. You get the chaotic webbing throughout the head and the mask. Even on the back, you can see it's not straight lines running across. You get some double lines and stuff. And then moving down to the torso, you get that unique Superior Spider-Man logo. And then the rest of the body is pretty simple, man. It's just black. Get the toes right there in red, the heels in red, but the bottom of the soles are just black. And then you get the little gauntlets that we didn't get before on the original Iron or Superior Spider-Man that we got back in 2014. So you can see right there, a nice silver plastic, and then the red bubble in the center. And yeah, man, the backpack is in a nice shiny red plastic. Pretty dope figure, man. Yeah, there's not much more to say about him. He's pretty simple. Some things that I'm not a big fan of is the torso articulation. It should have been a diaphragm cut and a lower ab crunch, as this does utilize some of the Renew Your Vows body. As you can see, if I bring Iron Fist in, they share the same legs, the same feet, different arms, and a different torso. So I don't know why they didn't give him that Renew Your Vows upper body. I think it has something to do with the legs and just having that this heavy backpack in the back. I think if they would have done the diaphragm cut, it would have really been really loose and it would have gotten, you know, droopy over time. But overall, man, it's a really solid figure, and I'm happy to have a dope Superior Spider-Man in my collection. Now, if Mayfix releases a version of their own, obviously I'm going to pick that one up. But this, as of now, is the best Superior Spider-Man to date. I won't say it's the best articulated arms. I think that still goes to the Revoltech and the Iron Spider figure. But this one is, it's pretty close, man. Getting a look at the articulation on the arms, you do get a swivel at that joint that connects to the backpack. And then you get a joint right here, a hinge right there at the second leg right there. And it hinges up and down and rotates a full 360. And then you get another one right there and then right here. So you get 1, 2, 3, 4 points of articulation on those arms, which is what the Iron Spider was severely missing, man. I really think they should revisit that figure and do it justice. Now we do get a hinge at the neck, so ball and hinge. Oop, without popping the head off. Can look up just about that much. Right there. He can look down a good amount. No head pivoting as it is on that ball and hinge. If it was a dumbbell joint, it would have gotten a lot more pivoting, which I would have preferred. I don't like hinges. I think it just breaks up that setup right there. It looks ugly. He does have ball jointed shoulders that move up a decent amount, so you can hit a wide pose fairly easy. He does have upper bicep swivel, double pinless elbows that bend in more than 90, and then he does have hinges at the wrist and they swivel, and that is for all hands. He does have an ab crunch that goes this much forward, that much back. And that spider decal continues on right there. He does have an waist cut right there. And then he does have, actually he does not have drop down hips. Actually, I don't know. He kind of has drop down hips. So yeah, they're there, but they're not the greatest. He can kick forward. Oh, if I can get it to focus. That much forward. Not much back. Good amount to the side. Upper thigh cut, double pinless knees that bend in a good amount. He can kick his own ass. Pew, pew, pew. He does have a boot cut. Feet hinge forward, back, ankle pivot, and toe articulation. He does have pectorals at the bottom of the feet. Now to get a quick look at some size comparisons. Here we have all the figures from this anniversary line that we've gotten so far. We have Luke Cage, Superior Spider-Man, Wolverine, Ghost Rider, well, I was going to say Luke Cage, that's Iron Fist, and Warbird. And I think they all scale pretty good, man. I've heard some complaints about this Ghost Rider being too short, but I think he's actually a pretty decent height. You know, as you can see, he's about the same height as Luke Cage. I don't think he should be any bigger. But yeah, man, all of these together look absolutely beautiful together, man. This is one of the best lines that the Marvel Legends team has done so far. And we're still missing Odin. We're still missing the Hulkbuster. It's Odin, Hulkbuster. We're missing the Scar Hulk. I know he's hitting some GameStops in the US, but it hasn't hit Texas yet. And we're missing that Cabal 3-pack. We're missing quite a few figures from this anniversary line. But right now, it's shaping up to be a pretty badass line. Now, when I do get the other figures, I'll do the other half of this review. And yeah, man, I think these look just absolutely beautiful together. To rank them from my least favorite to my most favorite, it's going to be pretty hard. I think at number one, even with all its flaws that I don't like the torso, it's mainly just that torso. He's still my number one. I've been wanting an updated version of this character for the longest. My second will be Ghost Rider. I want to say Iron Fist, Warbird, Wolverine, and Luke Cage. I think that's my order as of now. That's just how I feel. Might change later, but as of now, I think that's my order. But yeah, let's get some other characters in here and get some more size comparisons. And here we have classic Luke Cage next to the newer Luke Cage. This one's fairly new. It came out this year. But it's just nice to have two solid Luke Cages. If you want a classic looking Luke Cage, we have this one. And if you want a more modern Luke Cage, we have this one. And yeah, man, both of them look absolutely stunning together. Here we have some street level fighters. We have the Riders Punisher, the Retro Card Target exclusive Moon Knight, and the... oh, that's it actually. So here we have some street level fighters next to the new Ghost Rider, Luke Cage, and Iron Fist. Now I don't have any of the new Marvel Legends Daredevil. I really wish I would have picked that one up, but I just didn't pick it up, and the Mayfix one is coming soon. But these street level characters, man, look absolutely beautiful together. I love the size between all of them. I don't think any of them are really out of scale. They all fit perfect within each other. Here we have the Marvel Legends Wolverine next to my favorite Wolverine of all time, the Mayfix Classic Tiger Stripe Wolverine. Here we have Superior Spider-Man next to the classic Mayfix Spider-Man and the Deathshot Last Kill. I can't remember the name of this Spider-Man, but I just put them in here because they share very similar color styles and style of spiders. Yeah, I just really wish they would have done the ab crunch and the upper diaphragm cut on this guy, and he would have been absolutely perfection. And there you have it, a very solid release by the Marvel Legends team. They're killing it with this line, man. Again, like I said, this is one of my favorite lines in a very, very long time. Cannot wait to get my hands on Odin and the Hulkbuster. I think those two are going to be absolutely amazing. The other figures I am excited for, like the Walmart exclusive Venom, that one I'm super hyped up for. But yeah, man, very solid figures. I highly recommend go pick these up while you can. This Wolverine gave me a hard time finding them. They told me a couple Targets had them in stock. I went the very next morning and they were all gone. I had to go to a Target about 30 minutes out from where I live to pick that fool up. So go pick them up while you can. Again, I found the 2-pack of Luke Cage and Iron Fist at GameStop. I found him at GameStop. I found Warbird, Wolverine, and Superior Spider-Man at my local Target. So again, go while you can because these won't last long. They're very solid figures that we've needed in our collection for a very long time. So now that we have them, people are going to go out there and pick them up while they can. Do not wait till they sell out and they're going crazy in the aftermarket. So yeah, highly recommend them. Pick them up while you can. That's it, man. Again, follow me on my Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. The links to all those are in the description down below. Subscribe and hit that like button, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.